I don't know what to say in a situation like this. You know, it's.
Tell me what you're looking for when you're looking at the T for this particular one.
Okay, so in this case, while he is face down, we can see his jaw, his mandible, and his maxilla, and we know that Alexander Bonnyman had gold crowns in both his full maxilla and mandible. So right now I'm seeing a gold crown on his maxilla, and it's hard for me to see the mandible at the moment, but that's what we're doing. We're brushing it away very gently and slowly to make sure that it is there. And it looks like I'm seeing now in the maxilla as well. So
gold was somewhat unusual for the time. Can you talk about that?
Gold was very expensive and unusual at the time, and there weren't very many people, particularly in the Marines, who had gold bridges, gold fillings. Very few. So the percentage of people who would have had that was very low and very distinctive. And in this case, in particular, in the 40 people who were buried here, only maybe 3 or 4 had gold fillings. So, and he was one of them. So, and in this case, he's also in the same number of the row that Alexander Bonnyman would have been buried. That's all right. This is an important moment.
Yeah, so. It's crazy. You work. I'll watch for a minute.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. I understand how you feel. No, I can't quite, but I can.
Well, you know, it's funny because my family didn't know
for a very long time.
For a very long time that he was unrecovered. And Army Graves Registration came back in 1946, and they conducted investigations, you know, and made a lot of recoveries. You know, up till 1950, and my great-grandfather was inquiring from. They were notified. My grandmother received the telegram on December 29th, 1944. It had to chase her around a little bit because she was kind of on the move. And less than 2 weeks after that, my great-grandfather was writing letters because it was very important to him to get these remains back. And then from 46 to 50, you know, he really kept that up. And my great-uncle Gordon kind of took over a little bit because my great-grandfather got so discouraged in 47, 48, and they got every excuse in the book. And you know, I wasn't there. I don't know the difficulties. I understand the situation that was here on the ground, and this location was lost. And that's fine. What I think is very sad is that it was extremely important, especially to my great-grandparents, and they were given every story in the book. He was buried at sea. Oh, he's in cemetery, what we call now Cemetery 33, and his body is actually there. And then they'd get rumors. My great-uncle heard rumors. Well, they bulldozed everybody into the sea. Well, nobody'd been here in the family, but you guys know, you couldn't do that. That'd be the most disrespectful thing you could do. You know, there's no way. You'd have to get them off the reef. So really, the last real letter I have between my uncle and Graves Registration, actually it was somebody out at Hickam, was, don't call us, we'll call you. And it didn't say literally that, but it said more or less buzz off. And you know, there were all these little hopeful threads that got pulled over the years, and they would get letters, and they would hear from people that this guy in this town in Raton, New Mexico, where there was a Bonnyman relative, he was at Tarawa and he can talk to you, and his girlfriend and blah blah blah. And they'd chase it down. My great uncle did. Sadly, my great grandfather died in 1953, and they chased it down, and it was really important to them. And they never got an answer. But my great grandfather ordered, it's about 6 feet long, and it's a huge family headstone. And it just says Bonnyman on the front, and it sits up on a real high hill in the Highland Memorial Cemetery in Knoxville, Tennessee, where my grandfather grew up and where they were from. And at its foot, my great-grandfather, 1953, my great-grandmother died in 1968. My grandfather's 2 sisters and his brother and his brother's widow are all buried at the foot. all of them. They're right there. If you go around to the backside, there's an oak tree, and on the backside it says, First Lieutenant Alexander Bonnyman, Jr., May 2nd, 1910, November 22, 1943, buried at sea. And that's the last he knew.